Happy Halloween, acolytes of the Force, and students of our vast archives. I would only expect the most dedicated of my fans to tune in for this special and integral Halloween edition. This, of course, is Halloween, the 31st of October, and the day of spookiness. So I thought that I would deduct, using my analytics and immense Star Wars archives, what is something truly terrifying in Star Wars? Something that many of you might not have heard before. My thoughts immediately dwelled on the eldritch dark side abomination Abeloth. Abeloth obviously being the mother of the Ones, who nearly conquered the galaxy, was able to contend with Darth Krayt and Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, and had the ability to even defeat the Father, possibly the most powerful Force wielder of all time, in single combat. Abeloth was one of the main ideas that I possessed for this video. However, I ultimately deducted that too many people knew about her, due to the fact I've covered her a multitude of times on this channel. Another one of the things I thought about making a video about was the Rakghoul Plague. The Rakghoul Plague being a plague insinuated and created by Karness Muur, and acted through Celeste Moore via his Muur talisman. The Muur talisman I've made a video about allowed Karness Muur to transfer his essence and adapt to the powers of whoever he controlled, with his essence taking over and controlling whoever wore his talisman. But I did not think that this was scary and terrifying enough to suffice for this video. This is Halloween, and it is truly the season to be terrifying. So, I eventually deducted that today we shall be talking about the Starweirds. Yes, you heard me correctly, Starweirds. Peculiar name, isn't it? Before we begin and delve into our vast hyperspace wormholes and travel across the galaxy in search of these mysterious dark side entities, I would like to remind you that even though it is Halloween, it is not too late to ascend to the rank of Master and strike down the subscribe button if you wish not to be harmed and tortured by the embrace of pain and torture of the Starweird. Then I heavily suggest that you use the Force to electrocute the subscribe button and drain the life out of the like button and the notification bell like Darth Nihilus. With that out of the way, acolytes, let us proceed with this special Halloween edition of Star Wars Brainbusters. Starweirds were a unique, dark-side affinitive species of incorporeal humanoid beings found only in the deep vacuum of void of space. Tall and gaunt, they possess long, sharp talons, ebony black, wild white hair that stack out in jagged edges, and glowing eyes. The creatures appeared to be spacers, repairing their starships in the space aboard vessels traveling through hyperspace. Appearing only in hyperspace commonly, a Starweird would not choose a target, and then, after being spotted, emit a brutal and torturous telepathic scream that terrified most individuals, stunning them and locking them within the bowels of their mindscape momentarily. The Starweird would then attack and brutalize its victim. Starweirds were powerful eldritch dark-side abominations, capable of utilizing the Force, and held a strong grudge and hatred for common Force users such as the Jedi or Sith, leading some Jedi to believe they were apparitions created by the embodiment of the dark side of the Force in the Son of Mortis. During the time of the first conflict fought between the Galactic Republic and the reconstituted Sith Empire led by Emperor Vitiate, Jedi Master Weil Ellet saved his Padawan Zerenda and many members of the Jedi High Council from a famous Starweird known as the Starweird Queen, but more on her later. Starweirds were incorporeal, humanoid Force-using creatures found only in the deep void of space, very tall and extremely gaunt, to the point of almost appearing as skeletal entities, and wore ephemeral rags that hang from their two arms. Starweirds had long, wild, jagged white hair that floated around their heads even when influenced by the void of gravity. The creatures had pale skin that varied slightly in coloration and texture from one Starweird to another. Their faces were desiccated. However, specific amounts of what a Starweird's face looked like varied, and many witnesses stating that the creature's face somewhat resembled their own. Starweirds each had a large, toothy, jagged mouth and eyes that glowed in a way that some individuals described as being eerie. They were very akin to Abeloth in this way. Their arms were bony and ended in hands with three large, sharp, ebony black talons. The species' incorporeal nature made it impossible for the creature to resist conventional attacks and pass through solid objects. Although force fields still stopped the creatures, they were also fully affected by the use of the Force. Instead of walking on two legs, Star Wars levitated and hovered or flew silently at the speed that was not slightly faster than most bipedal human-sized species could move. While fairly intelligent and intellectually pleasing, the creatures did not speak or communicate, as they had no known engineered language. The species was capable of staying up to 20 meters in complete darkness, or they were unable to distinguish color under these conditions. Starweirds could use normal force powers, such as drain energy, an ability that Darth Nihilus was proficient in, force grip, force lightning, and force foresight. They also had no ecological role, and after dying, a Starweird left no traces of itself behind, similar to the father of Mortis. Starweirds would typically adhere to spaces, repairing the damaged starship under the guise of helpers, or manifest aboard a ship traveling in the void of hyperspace. Upon being spotted by one of the comrades, Starweirds would become enraged and raise a loud, piercing telepathic shriek that affected creatures within 20 meters, often shattering their eardrums and incapacitating their minds momentarily. Due to the call's telepathic nature, it could be heard even in the deep void of space. Their screams often caused listeners to cower in fear or attempt to flee from their wrath, although some individuals were able to overcome their terror and fight back through force of will alone. After issuing the horrible shriek, the powerful creature would set upon its foe, shredding them with its sharp and deep claws. A Starweird would choose one target and focus on that individual. The creatures particularly held a begrudging grudge and hated Force sensitives to the highest degree, who they would mindlessly concentrate on killing even if other creatures were present, ignoring them, and focusing all their hatred and fury on the Force sensitives. Starweirds were found solely in the vacuum of deep space and the void. They were considered a mysterious, cryptic, and dark side species. Some Jedi hypothesized they were physical manifestations of the dark side of the Force, such as the son of Mortis, and many other beings. However, little available evidence supported the hypothesis. During the First War between the reconstituted Sith Empire and the Galactic Republic, the Starweird Queen was a member of their species who was considered to be the most legendary and proficient at killing nearby spaces in the galaxy. The Starweird Queen attacked, brutalized, and mercilessly massacred many of the members of the Jedi Council and a Jedi Padawan named Zerenda. The group of Jedi was saved by Jedi Master Violet, who was a teacher of Zerenda, which caused the Jedi Master to be captured by Imperial forces in the end. Now, Acolytes, as I stated previously, let's move on to some information about the Starweird Queen. Unfortunately, not much is known about the Starweird Queen. All that we know is that she was the ruler of the mysterious space-worn race of the Starweirds. She was considered a legend until the Great Galactic War, where she attacked the Jedi Council and Padawan Zerenda. The Jedi Master Violet defeated her. However, it is unknown whether this implies she was killed by this Jedi Master or just incapacitated and was sent into the vacuum of deep space. She possibly even could appear in Star Wars canon sometime. There is some very important thing I need to note about Starweirds. We don't actually have a common age that they die at. We only know that they live long, prosperous lives, tormenting innocent civilians during the vacuum of hyperspace. Starweirds are truly, possibly aside from only Abeloth herself, the most terrifying thing in all of Star Wars. An encounter with them could prove to be fatal, even if you are a Jedi or a Sith. Well, my friends, what did you think of this Halloween edition of Star Wars Brainbusters? Would you like to encounter and stare in the eyes of a Starweird? Would you like to hear their piercing, ear-crackling shriek? And would you like to experience the pain they feel every single moment of their excruciating lives? Goodbye, Acolytes. Happy Halloween. And I hope that the Starweirds do not find you on this very spookified night.